Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Alec and Dave Talk About Shit. I'm Alec,
And I'm Dave.
and we are about to talk about some shit. In particular, this episode, we are going to talk about the Predator franchise. We are going to go, I think, through every Predator movie, but this is obviously inspired by the new theatrical release. New as of like 2 weeks ago, but whatever. We're not getting paid for this. You get this when you get it. New theatrical release Predator Badlands, which we have both seen and I'm sure have thoughts on. However, before we get into a full sort of like just going over the whole Predator franchise thing, which I think will be a great time. I think we both have a lot of thoughts on Predator, I feel like.
Oh, we have a lot of thoughts, and the internet will not like my thoughts. I am quite certain of this.
We'll see. We'll see if the internet likes my thoughts. I have no idea. I have a lot of them. But before we get to that, let's just recommend some fun stuff for the listeners. Because it's not, while we might recommend some of these Predator movies, we're not going to recommend all of them. So let's start on a definitively positive note of something we recommend. What do you got this week, Dave?
So this is special for Alec, and I did this really hoping that the trade paperback was about to come out, and I just looked it up, and it is not coming out until June.
Oh.
So maybe this is too early to recommend, but I just want to talk about this. Have I told you what is going on with Godzilla in comic book world?
I mean, obviously, you have given me the like Godzilla versus Chicago, and I know there's generally a Godzilla versus different cities thing going.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, what you don't know, which you need to get caught up on, is there is a new Godzilla continuing series that is absolutely awesome. So here's the first cover. It's sick. And the author is a guy from Chicago. His name is Tim Seeley. And he's done the right way to do a Godzilla thing. So it's basically what this is there's this super team that the United States has put together to try and fight Godzilla. Right? But one of them has kaiju powers.
Okay. One of the two. This is like a human with kaiju powers.
A human with kaiju powers has been recruited by the U.S. military to fight Godzilla.
Badass as hell.
It's so good. Cool. It is so good. And not only that, but there are two spin-off series that IDW is doing that are both sick. One is called Escape the Dead Zone. And it's basically, so like in this world, Godzilla has destroyed the Pacific Northwest, just completely demolished it. And this is about like, so this society has been completely ruined, but there are still people and things ? You know, surviving in this, and they've like created cults around Godzilla and his power, and like trying to channel the kaiju.
As well they should. Yeah.
It completely makes sense. It is 100% what some crazy people would do, right? Like, and then there's also finally there's Starship Godzilla, which we're in the future. We have taken the Godzilla mech and made it into a starship, and there are people living in the Starship Godzilla.
In like the corpse of Mechagodzilla, basically?
Yes,
is what you're saying?
Exactly. Yep. They live in Starship Godzilla. And the really first cool. one, the first issue for this is so funny because I don't know if this is going to be. I've only read one issue, but it was basically like a baby alien gets on board and is like a dangerous monster. But it's also a child, and one of the crewmates is like, "You can't kill it, it's only a baby!" Like, but like it's like got poison that is like destroying this shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it was such a good. So I haven't read number two just came out yesterday. I haven't read it yet for Starship Godzilla. So I don't know if they're actually going to start like a continuous story throughout these, or they're just going to be like fun little stories, and like each one is just going to be like its very own, like basically like TV show of the
Mm.
adventures of these people living in Starship Godzilla. Um,
I love
but
it.
these three,
I love
they're
it
put
so
out by
well.
IDW. It's Starship Godzilla, Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone, and just Godzilla, and they are sick. And I was actually gonna buy you the trade for Godzilla number one because like the fifth one just came out. So normally the trade for like comes out like a month or two after the fifth one. I was like, this is gonna be perfect. It's gonna be a perfect present for Alec for Christmas. And then I looked it up, and it doesn't come out till like June. I was like, shit. And I was like,
Uh,
well, I don't know. Maybe he could get caught up. Maybe he could find these in single
right.
issue.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so yeah,
Oh man, that sounds amazing. I have one follow up question, which is, when they're in Mecha Godzilla, does it just look like the inside of the spaceship, or does it look like the bones of Godzilla inside? Because I know at least one iteration of Mecha Godzilla. I think it's the first iteration of Mecha Godzilla. Is they take the bones of the original 1954 Godzilla and put it in a mech suit to create Mecha Godzilla. So I'm like, what? There's different stuff. There's Godzilla lore is varied and all over the place. But I'm just sort of wondering, like inside
I
the
can tell you
spaceship,
with certainty that the ship it does not look like a caucus, or like just like
like a corpse.
yeah, like it doesn't look like just like the uh it just looks like a regular starship,
Mhm.
right? It looks like
I
metal.
mean,
It looks like it would
that
be
would make a lot more
insane.
sense to live inside of that. I just thought like maybe there'd be incredible design elements of like a head like somebody in the captain's chair that's clearly in like Godzilla's fucking skull or something. Like there's just I think either way it sounds awesome.
No,
Um,
it's sick.
yeah.
I
Uh,
this is probably like my favorite thing going on in comic books for me, like right now. And if you know me, that is high praise. That
that's
is high praise. Um,
very, very
it is
much.
super cool. It's so fun. I am loving it.
Also, did we when we went to Chicago Comic Con C2E2? Did we see Tim Seeley at any point? Was he like there?
He was there. I went and saw him and talked to him for a little bit on a day, like my first day,
Okay.
because there was a hold on, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I've shown this to you, but I'm not
I feel
100%
like
sure.
I feel like I may have became the next day, and I feel like we talked about Tim Seeley being one of the people that you had seen because the name
Because
is very familiar.
so this was
Oh,
the
yeah.
um Godzilla versus Chicago variant for C2E2. I
Yeah.
was one of the first people to buy it, and I immediately went up to two of my favorite creators, Tim Seeley and Ryan Brown,
Mm-hmm.
to sign it. And now it hangs on my wall. And I
Hell
love
yeah.
this. I love this cover so much. It
Yeah.
makes me
It's
so happy.
fantastic. It's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
anything with Godzilla on it is automatically kind of a piece of art that I probably want or like would seriously consider buying. And if you combine that with the just iconic Chicago flag design, I am so in.
It's
You
sick.
know?
It's sick.
Yeah.
I should have bought you one. I didn't even think of it.
Oh, it's fine. You got me. You got me an actual, copy of the comic. So like, thank you.
And a
Yeah.
poster. I did get the
And
poster.
a post
That
and a
poster is
sick
sick.
poster. And a sick poster. Um Well, fantastic recommends. I don't have anything that I will like wholeheartedly recommend as much as you just recommended that, but I do think I have to recommend one thing, which is a hilarious thing to recommend because it is like it may be the most important film of the year at the very least in kid culture. But I finally watched it and I was surprised at how good it is. I'm gonna recommend K-pop Demon Hunters on this
Oh, dude,
episode right
it's
now.
totally on my list.
Do you
Absolutely.
have you seen it?
No, okay, so like I
No.
only pay for
Okay.
Netflix for like 2 months out of the year, and it starts after Thanksgiving, and then I shut it off in like whenever I'm done watching everything I want to watch. But like that is at the top of my list
Yes,
of
it should
things
be.
I'm going to watch when I turn Netflix back on.
It should be. I think I just sort of like the name sounded dumb to me, and I just sometimes when like kids are going apeshit for something, you're sort of like, okay, I don't know. Like, will this actually be quality, or are kids just sort of obsessing over something for whatever reason? I had no idea. Like, it's Sony Pictures Animation. It's the people who did like Spider-Verse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like the animation is great. The songs are bangers, absolute bangers. I mean, like I've been listening to this soundtrack since I've watched this movie, and it like legitimately is kind of a love letter to like Korean culture in a lot of ways. Like almost everybody who seems to have worked on this movie is like Korean people, and like they've made a very like loving thing um that is both like all about how great K-pop is, but also has some like cool Korean like mythology stuff in there. And yeah, I was shocked at how much I liked it. It is currently it's just outside my top 10. It's in terms of the year. It's at number 11. You know, but like I will be. I am now on the like, you know, I'm hoping this thing gets a best animated Oscar kind of thing now. Like I'm now on the
It's
I don't know what else is even competing this year. I forget. But like if that doesn't win, I'm going to be like kind of mad about it. And that's not at all what I was expecting to say going into watching that movie.
it's
You
in
know.
your it's number 11 of your favorite movies of the year, and this isn't a full-throated endorsement. What are you talking about? Like what's going on?
I set this up badly. I will admit. I'm sorry. I should have said, well, it's just you were so excited about Godzilla. I was like, I don't know if I'm at that level of excited for K-pop
Well,
Demon
no, no, no.
Hunters,
That's just the
but
thing that is like this is for you, right?
yeah,
Like I am so excited to talk about these things because they're coming out right now, and this is something that like you would love.
yeah.
Um,
Also,
but I'm actually
that might have been where I was coming from emotionally. Is like you were just talking about Godzilla, which is like one of my favorite things in the world. So to go from that to like my 11th movie of the year and a thing I really like is just like that's a step down in excitement for me. But I did not mean to diminish how much I would generally recommend K-pop Demon Hunters. Like it
there have
is,
also just not been a lot of animated movies this year. I'm just realizing
yeah,
this. Like
yeah.
it's got to be the front runner. Like, wait, did
I
it? Oh no, it went in theaters. It was in theaters for a little while.
It
I
did. They
thought
gave
about
it a
going to
little
see it
run,
in a theater,
mm-hmm.
but I missed it.
So it
But
should qualify.
I think
Yeah.
the only animated movie I've seen this year is Elio.
Yeah, and I think this is better than Elio for sure, for sure. I mean,
And then,
Sony Pictures animate like that animation studio has frankly been kicking Pixar's ass for a while.
oh yeah.
So
But it's
like,
yeah, Paddington 3 doesn't count as an animated movie. That's mostly
no,
live action.
yep,
I think it's just Elio is the only one I've seen. Zootopia 2 is about to come out,
it is about to come out.
and that will be an interesting.
That will probably get a nomination.
Yeah.
As always, there's something from another country that pops in that is usually pretty damn good. Like Flow last year, or there's something from like Miyazaki or Miyazaki Studios, something like that. As of right now, um, I would very much hope that would be the winner. Also, I mean, it is just like I'm stating the obvious, but it's such a phenomenon. I did not realize that like this is the first time that a like Korean artist has had like a like number. I think it's like basically I think that they've like basically just been breaking records for like Korean artists in America. But like that album went platinum. Like they are the musicians who are behind these three characters, like the three main characters in this fictional Huntrix band, are like blowing up because of this, and they absolutely should. Also, I went to H Mart the other day, and there's just a giant stanchion of K-pop Demon Hunters where they're just blasting this music everywhere. Uh, there are all sorts of signs. There were people being, advertising for like teaching you the dances from K-pop Demon Hunters. Like it's just, I'm aboard the hype train. I didn't expect as a 36-year-old white dude to be like, I'm on the hype train of K-pop Demon Hunters, but here I am.
So
So,
there is I just looked it up. The predictions for the variety predictions for um best animated feature are K-pop Demon Hunters number one,
mhm.
Arco, which I've never heard of number two, Zootopia 3. There's Sherlock. She wanted to say hi.
Yeah. If you
Zootopia
want to
2 is
say,
number
if
3.
you want to say Zootopia, her vote. It's fine.
Yeah. Number 4 is Little Emily or the Character of Rain. I've never heard of that one.
No, never
And
heard of
then
it.
number 5 is Elio.
Yeah.
Uh, and then number 6 is the Ninja 2 from
Oh, Ninja 2 from China. Yeah.
from China.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. If that one got a nomination, that would be
Yeah.
really interesting. And I think be the first. Oh, hold on. Sherlock's about to go eat my mail. Give me 1 second.
Oh, no. I want to vamp
Sherlock.
here for a second in terms of thoughts on that. I mean, that is something I did kind of forget about Ninja 2 because I did not see that. That also got a US theatrical release through A24. It did not make much money, was not seen by very many people in the US, which might be a note against it in terms of like Oscar voting.
No,
But
I
it
think
is a
a
more
lot
and
of
more
people.
international. Within the
I,
US, a lot of people, it didn't do big numbers or anything.
what do you call
Um,
big numbers? I felt like it did all right.
Within the
I,
U.S., I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just looking at it as a percentage of the total, but like I think it made like around 20 something million in the
oh no
U.S.
way! It went higher than that. I'm gonna
In the
put it at
U.S.
50. Yeah.
specifically. You might be right. You might be right. I don't really remember the exact thing. It's just sort of like it wasn't as widely seen or discussed within the U.S., but it's an
You
international
are
voting
you are
body now.
correct. You actually nailed it. Wow,
Did
that's
I?
amazing. 22
Yeah.
million domestic.
Boom, baby.
I thought it had a moment. I remember it having a moment. Um, but maybe I'm thinking of something else.
See, yeah, man, I don't know whether I should feel sad about the fact that I have that information off the top of my head. That's like a little embarrassing almost. Um, so
Anyways,
anyway, I'm not obsessive about movies. Here we go. Let's get into
we
Predator
don't have a
instead.
podcast that mainly talks about movies. Of
Mainly
course
talking
not.
about movies. No, I wouldn't just know this information. All I was trying to say there was just it's an international voting body. It is like the top movie of the year in terms of international box office, I believe, still by like a wide margin. We'll see when Avatar: Fire and Ash comes out, but I doubt it'll even beat. I doubt that will beat Neja too. So who knows? That could absolutely be rewarded at the Oscars. I also just think there's still enough of an American presence that I wouldn't immediately go that will win over something like K-pop Demon Hunters. So, but we should get into Predator.
Let's talk
Um,
about Predator.
let's talk about Predator. We are going to do this chronologically. We're going to go through the Predator franchise and just talk about our thoughts about these films chronologically as they go through. I do still kind of think I want to put out what my ranking of them is at the end. You might not
I'm
have a
down.
full
I'm down with
ranking.
that.
It's
I'm fine with
fine.
that. I
Yeah,
have my
no,
ranking in my head.
yeah, and we can argue a little bit over that if we want, uh, but let's just start with 1987's Predator. I'm gonna clear out the way here, Dave. You want to take this?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I
Go
think the
for it, buddy.
internet is going to love this opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Our one fan is going to love it.
Yeah, get ready,
Okay,
fam.
so I will fully acknowledge that I did not watch Predator the right way. Okay. I, my dad never sat me down when I turned 13 and was like, son, let me tell you about the Predator. Like, let me tell you about this movie. which I think a lot of dads did to their kids, right? Like it
Mhm.
makes
Mhm.
sense. And I think the movie for its time also makes sense, right? You get a bunch of the biggest action stars imaginable together, and then and like everyone is so used to all of these people in all these action movies being just invincible, and then the first half hour you kill off half of them. Genius, right? Like
Mhm.
genius move. The
Well,
first half hour
sorry, I
is
gotta interrupt you. It's not the first half hour. It takes a while before you get to the predator killing them,
okay,
which is
but
maybe part of the issue with the film. But go on.
maybe maybe
It's the second
maybe
half hour when this starts happening. Sorry, go on.
but like that's such a good idea, right? Like, and it sets
Mm-hmm.
up this crazy thing that you can't see to be just such a big badass that like you don't know what you're doing, and it totally makes sense, right? And I totally get why it was such a big hit in 1987. Now, for anyone who says that this movie is rewatchable and is amazing and is an unimpeachable five-star masterpiece, you're wrong. You're just wrong. You're remembering the excitement that you had watching that movie for the first time and watching all these people die and being so confused and being so excited and whatever. Nostalgia is a powerful thing. As a movie that can be watched in the year of our Lord 2025, this movie has two amazing action sequences and is so boring the rest of the time. It's boring. It's absolutely boring. And it has bad dialogue given by not like good action stars, but not great actors.
Right.
Like it's
Correct. Yeah.
it's
Jesse
a
Ventura is not a great actor.
no
Yeah.
no like
No.
it is
No
a
one's arguing.
movie that has some really cool parts that is also very flawed. And anybody who's calling this a five-star masterpiece is just eating up the nostalgia bit. That is the only way I can explain this movie.
I so I think that you are being a little harsh, but also I pretty much agree with a lot of what you were saying. I mean, like,
And this is
so,
what I did not expect. I did not expect this because when
so,
I told you this after we watched this movie,
mhm.
you were like blasphemy. Like you were so
Yes.
mad at me.
No, look, I will say I can go back, I can rewatch something, I can sort of hear criticism and try to change my opinion based on like other people's like very valid ideas or thoughts or reactions to a movie. My initial reaction to this was like, look, man, you just got bored because you know what the Predator looks like, and there's just a lot of stuff that's like building up. What is this thing? And it's like, you know what the Predator is. So, like, it sucks to just wait like a long time before they're finally like, here's the Predator. And you're like, I fucking know, you know? I get it. I've
Yes,
seen
and
it.
I should have said I watched parts of this movie a million times growing up, right? It was just on TNT every once in a while. I'd watch a half hour, then I'd leave. Like
Yeah,
right,
a very
like
weirdly edited TNT version, I'm
yeah, yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. I'd seen the final scene a bajillion times
Right.
before I actually sat down to watch the entire movie. So I watched it wrong. I will
Mm-hmm.
admit that.
Right.
I
Right.
still think I'm right about what I'm saying.
Here's okay. Here's what I say. I still think like you're a little too hard on it, but here's done I've looked into this, and here are my general thoughts on Predator. I think that Predator is a film that is it is a so 1987. This is a script by John and Jim Thomas, who also go on to write Predator 2, and I think they generally speaking like produce some of the other Predator movies. This is a bad script by them. These are not good writers of movies, and Predator works because of the talents of the other people in the room. Like Predator works because you have John McTiernan, who's a year away from doing Die Hard. Like you got one of the better action movie directors of the 80s. You got Shane Black on set playing the character Jim Hawkins. He's like 1987 is also when Lethal Weapon comes out, which he wrote. So like you've got a good writer on set doing punch up for a bad script. Cool. Great. I'm like, I don't know for sure, but like you are one ugly motherfucker certainly sounds more like a Shane Black line. It is pretty likely that if you like a line of dialogue in Predator, that's Shane Black. It's not the original writers. You have someone making the creature design who does a fantastic job with that.
Yeah.
You know, some credit to Jim and John Thomas. I don't know how much they described this creature. Like they did create the character of the Predator. They deserve some credit for that. But it's basically like they have a cool idea and then other people step in and they execute it about as well as you can, given the constraints of them also giving them a script that's like not very good overall. And then add in the star power of like Arnold to carry this shit, you know, like there's some great stuff there. However, yeah, there's a lot of questionable stuff in this film. In terms of like its runtime. Like I do think that most people remember the last roughly 25 minutes when Arnold is like fighting them. And those 25 minutes like unimpeachably rule.
Yeah, no, it's a great ending. It's an amazing ending.
Right.
100%.
I would say from the moment that you have the like Native American tracker character Billy like stop on the log because he's basically realized that like this thing can't possibly like they can't survive against this predator. Like it is so overpowered them that his only chance is to basically like challenge it on this like very thin thing where it has to approach him head on to like a knife fight. You know, because like clearly it has superior firepower in terms of their weapons. Like from that moment where he's like, I'm going to challenge it to a knife fight, and you hear him die off screen through the rest of the movie, is sick. It's a great action film. Like I mentioned, there's a half hour before where they are just setting up that they need to go into the jungle, and then they're doing a random mission in the jungle that will not matter at all to the rest of the plot in any way. You know, and this is a thing, like the plot of Predator is basically guys are in the jungle and Predator is there. Like that's it. There's not a lot of else going on. It's not exactly high level in terms of plot, but they spend like 30 minutes just doing the mission, and then it's another like almost 15 minutes before the Predator actually kills one of the dudes. So that's 45 minutes of an hour and 45-minute movie before Predator actually kills a main character. Yeah, man, that's not great. It's not great writing. You know, like in terms of, yes, there's a cool action set piece in there where they're like basically fighting a bunch of rebel dudes, you know, that you don't really understand exactly what's going on with them. But like, whatever, that's like 5 minutes of the 45 minutes of you just sort of waiting for the Predator to finally show up and kill one of them. I will say, upon my rewatch, even worse than that, actually, is the fact that it's then... So the Predator kills somebody, he then, I think, kills another person pretty quickly. There's then another 20 fucking minutes before the Predator kills anybody again. And that entire 20 minutes is just them, like, walking through the jungle, talking about what the Predator might be, and then like setting up traps to try and catch the Predator.
But like, hold on. But like,
that's it.
You're too kind about that description, right? Mm-hmm. They're walking through the jungle. They're delivering bad dialogue.
Yes.
Like the writing is so bad, and they're not amazing actors. They're a bunch of action stars, so that acting isn't great. Like, like it's just like that half hour to 45-minute stretch from the it's I can't and I won't. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
And you can't look at me and say this is a 5-star masterpiece when the middle half of your movie sucks. It
I
just sucks.
I am like going through it again, like I'm just sort of looking at it and trying to sort of map out like what's happening when. There are it is legitimately like there's maybe an hour plus of the movie that is okay at best. And then like 40 minutes that's like pretty fucking badass. Like
Yes,
total in
and
total.
the 40 minutes are not pretty fucking badass. They are super bad fucking ass. Like
Mhm.
they are unimpeachably an amazing 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
But
doesn't
it's
make up for an hour of shit. It just
yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Like
And this is
and
this is really I think this is sort of the only quibble that we're landing on here is you would describe that hour as shit. I would just describe it as like mediocre. Like I would just say like there's some parts of it that are fine, and then there are other parts of it where you're literally just watching shots of them in a jungle for a 2 minute stretch where the only saving grace is they're playing the Predator theme over it, and the Predator theme kind of rules. But if you didn't have that, it would be the most boring 2 minutes in cinema. Like there's nothing is happening. You're not seeing the Predator POV. It is literally just shots of different characters walking through a jungle frame. Like there's a lot of that, but also like part of that hour plus is like okay to me. I think it's fine. It's just not great because it's like you do have the action scene in there with them getting to the jungle. There's some light character work going on that I think is okay. And I think overall, like I think a couple performances are better than you're giving them credit for. Like I think the dude who plays Mac is a little bit better than your standard action star. You know, and I think Carl Weathers is doing it up. Carl Weathers is kind of eaten in Predator. So like we're not disagreeing on much, but I think that does sort of like if you're like that hour's shit and 40 minutes is great, and I'm like that hour's fine and 40 minutes is great. That probably is a pretty significant gulf in like what our overall ratings of the movie.
I mean like I this is hard for me. It's really hard for me. So I'll use another example of a movie that people lift up that I'm like, and I like this movie more than The Predator. I'm totally blanking on the name. It's the Martin Scorsese film on Netflix where they age everyone down.
Oh, The
Uh,
Irishman.
The Irishman. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The Irishman. The last 2 hours of The Irishman is awesome. I really really love the last 2 hours of The Irishman. The first hour and 45 minutes is not. It's really boring. It's
It's
really
insane that
boring with
that
like
movie's that long.
one or two good bits. And
Yeah.
so how do I rate a movie that has two movies combined where the first movie sucks and the second movie's awesome? Like
Mm-hmm.
if it was just the second movie, it might be my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I so understand how many people were like, I turned that movie off in the first hour and 45 minutes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Like, right?
Yeah. Why
Like
would you keep giving it a chance? It's had a full movie to make an
it's had a full
impression.
movie. And it's a boring first movie. And so that's
Yeah.
how I feel about The Predator. Yes, the last 30 minutes specifically, the last half hour is probably the best action sequences,
Yeah.
genuinely maybe of all time. It
It's
really
up
might
there.
be.
It's such a cool like
It's
all the different ideas they
so
have in
good.
there, the traps that he's setting up. And again, it's like the 20 to go back to those 20 minutes where they're walking through the jungle and talking about the predator. The most interesting that happens is that they start to set up traps, and it's like that's also going to be a big part of your last action set piece. Don't do this twice. That's
Yeah,
fucking
like
boring.
and so how do I relate that fact, because it's a fact, to, oh my god, the first hour and 15 minutes, first hour and a half of this movie is just absolutely unwatchable. It's
Yeah,
absolutely unwatchable.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I'm going to be so fascinated to see where this ends up in your ranking overall for these Predator movies at the end of this. But I think the way to transition to Predator 2 is to say this general idea of like there are some absolutely sick parts, but like how do we rank a movie that has so many things that suck in it too is going this is going to be an omen for the Predator franchise, I think, overall. I think that we're going to return to this idea a decent amount as we talk through these other movies. Um, so, 1990, we get Predator 2, starring Danny Glover, also written by John and Jim Thomas, who will definitively prove that they are actually really bad writers with Predator 2.
And now they've hired a worse director
And now they've
to
hired a
make
worse
to make their
director
bad writing come alive.
to come alive. They have hired a worse director. They have hired a no shade to Danny Glover, worse action star. Danny Glover is a better actor than Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is not a better action star than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Um, and yeah. Do you? When was the last time you watched Predator 2?
Oh, I have seen Predator 2. It's been years. I know so it was another thing where I caught glimpses of it on TNT over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
and I watched it start to finish one time in my life, and I was like, that's enough.
Correct. Correct. I had never actually seen Predator 2 until last week. I watched it for the first time, and I can say there's a good reason why. I never saw Predator 2. Because Predator 2 just really sucks. Like, it makes a lot of sense that they basically were like, oh man, like people liked Predator in like 1987, let's do a second one. And then they didn't make another thing that even had Predator in it for 14 more years. I think that's largely because Predator 2 is very bad. Similar to Predator 1, the idea is basically just location plus Predator. You know, instead of jungle plus Predator, they're just like, what about LA plus Predator? And like, that's as far as anyone thought through it, really. It also has I think that the problem really for me with Predator 2, though, because I think, again, like, there are some action sequences that are pretty dope still in Predator 2. They're much fewer than Predator 1, and they're not as good as Predator 1. There's some cool action stuff. The Predator still looks pretty good. You see him way too much, which really starts to eat away at how good he looks, but he looks pretty good. I think the major issue for me with Predator 2 is that it is genuinely a product of its time, in that it has a very like conservative fantasy LA where it's just like an absolute war zone between these two competing gangs, which is like a pretty racist depiction of a Jamaican gang and a pretty racist depiction of a Central or South American gang. I forget where even they're supposed to be from, and the accents don't help. There are no clues. It's pretty racist overall. Like, this is all stuff that's like, it's of its time. It's 1990. It's sort of predictable, but, you know, rewatching it 25, 35 years later, pretty hard to just sort of sit there and go, yeah, this is still good, you know? No, it's not. It's pretty offensive. It's pretty bad. But I will say, so my opinion of this movie is that it is one of the worst in terms of the Predator franchise. We're not gonna jump ahead to rankings or anything. But I will say the way that I can sum up this movie and how bad it is, the best. What's like one of the best parts about 80s and 90s action movies? You know, it's that they have great one-liners. You know, there's
Yeah,
yippee
yeah,
ki motherfucker, and Predator itself has "you are one ugly motherfucker," right?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there are these great stupid one-liners that stay with you, like that are just cheesy and perfect. Predator 2, it does actually try to reuse "you are one ugly motherfucker," and it does so in a very hilariously stupid way. where Danny Glover, after knocking out the Predator, starts to go, "You are one ugly," and then the Predator wakes up and goes, "Motherfucker!" and attacks him. So that's stupid as hell. But more importantly, John and Jim Thomas's attempt, without Shane Black there to help them, and creating their own one-liner is simply, "Shit happens." That's it.
Which they
That's
didn't
all they got.
create. They
They
did
didn't
not
create.
create that.
That's a phrase already. It is not unique enough to stick out in anyone's mind. And they use it 3 different times in the movie. Like, they're really trying to get "shit happens" to stick as like the one-liner of this movie. And my favorite scene, which just it feels like it's the entire, you could just watch this and be like, I've got an idea of how bad this is that Danny Glover and the Predator are hanging off of a side of a building. And the Predator is like trying to hang on, and Danny Glover is sort of like in a better position, so he's a little bit more safe. And Danny Glover looks at the Predator and he goes, "Okay, pussy face, your move," which is already incredibly bad. And the Predator looks at him and goes, "Shit happens." And then he starts to do his little Predator bomb thing, like he's going to explode himself or whatever. But that is such a fucking bad moment in that movie. And yeah, hilariously bad dialogue. Predator 2, major step down from Predator 1. Does that description generally fit your memory of watching it on TNT?
That sounds about right. Like,
okay. I wasn't sure if this was like a hot take from 2025 or if back in 1990 or in the 90s in general, people were like, "No, Predator 2's bad." Yeah.
That's a good question. Chris Ryan loves Predator 2. That is my knowledge of people like 10 years older than me.
The one
about
person
this
we
movie.
know who's defending Predator 2.
Just, he fucking loves Predator 2. I'm sure if I watched it as a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old, I would have walked out of that movie being like, "That was fucking shit."
Yeah. Dude,
that doesn't make it a good movie. There are plenty of movies that if I watched as 12, that's how I would react, and they're bad movies.
Yeah, they're bad movies. I mean, look, I have this example for you. I walked out of watching Blade 2, which I'm sure is just okay. I'm sure it's fine, but I walked out of that as roughly a 12-year-old being like, "Greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. Holy shit." Blade
Mine was
2.
Mortal Kombat. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I also loved Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Like, we're 5 years-ish behind loving Predator 2 and this being a different podcast, but we're just a little bit, we were too young.
Oh no,
we were
10.
barely alive when Predator 2 came out.
I'm not going to go see that movie when I'm 7. Like,
No.
we are 10 years behind. Like,
Oh yeah, no, you're right. We're 10 years, because I didn't see Mortal Kombat right when it came out in theaters. I don't think either. I think that was a video thing. So
yeah.
Okay, like we said, we don't get another Predator movie, and we can argue about whether or not, the Alien versus Predator movies are part of the mainline franchise or not. I don't care, especially because Predator Badlands, as we'll talk about later, brought back Alien stuff into the Predator franchise. It has Predator in the name. It's part of the franchise, in my opinion. So we're going to say...
here's my things about Alien. I am 100% sure I have seen both Alien versus Predator and Alien versus Predator Requiem.
Yeah.
I cannot remember what happened in one versus the other. Don't remember. Also, don't feel the need to rewatch it because they were both fine to bad. They're jumbled in my head. They're not great movies.
Yep.
And I'm not going to waste 4 hours of my time rewatching them so that I can talk educatedly on a podcast. I'm not doing that. So
yep. You're not doing that.
So I didn't.
I did.
So go ahead, Alec.
I did waste 4 hours of my life. And I want it back. And I need to be mad about it right now.
Go ahead, man.
So here are my goddamn thoughts on Alien versus Predator. I did. I don't know why I did. I just did. You know? Okay. Okay. Alien versus Predator. I think it's like 2004. By the way, the reason these get jumbled up in your head is because Alien vs. Predator Requiem literally starts the exact second that Alien vs. Predator ends. Like, it is just a continuation of the exact thing. So, like, of course, it's just all one big stupid fucking thing that happens. So, Alien vs. Predator. Alien vs. Predator is actually, like, it is a bad 2000s action movie, but like it's not the absolute worst thing in the world. I think if I just watched Alien versus Predator, I wouldn't be so mad right now. Like I'd be like a little upset that I wasted my time doing it, but I wouldn't be like I am genuinely about to like rant about how fucking bad this was. So Alien versus Predator. The setup is okay. The setup is not that bad of a plot. Like again, the other two Predator movies just have the plot of like location plus Predator. This at least, first of all, it acknowledges that the only reason the Predator even kept going is because they did a good comic book series that was Alien versus Predator. So it's like, cool, we'll give you this comic book series that everybody liked, and that's the only reason why we're even still talking about Predator anyway. Their idea that sets this up is like they've found an underground pyramid underneath the Arctic. The pyramid has evidence that it was built by a bunch of different cultures. And they're like, what the fuck? How could that be? So they bring in a team of scientists to like drill down to the pyramid and get to it. And they essentially just find out that the predators have been visiting the Earth for a very long time. It's basically the plot of the show Ancient Aliens. The predators taught all these ancient civilizations how to build stuff. And as a basically sacrificed to the predator gods, the aliens the humans were used to like as bodies to create xenomorphs that predators could then hunt for like the ultimate hunt. Okay, fine. It's not that bad of a setup, It's like it's convoluted, but like whatever, We're here. Let's do this thing. Directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who did like Resident Evil and Mortal Kombat, actually, which we've both just said. I'm pretty sure he did Mortal Kombat as well. We both just said we like that. We like Mortal Kombat. I actually don't even mind the first Resident Evil movie, but it's got a it looks kind of like a video game or a music video. It's got that very like darkly lit, like every movie kind of looks like Underworld thing from the early 2000s. The CGI does not benefit from this look. It all looks pretty bad for the most part. You've got boring characters, boring dialogue. It's just like it's a little bit of a slog, and it's really only bad. It's like it's middling quality throughout, but it's bad sometimes because it's clearly cut to be a PG-13 movie that they shot to be an R-rated film.
Yeah.
And which basically means that like they can show predators getting killed by aliens or vice versa, but anytime a human dies, they can't show any blood and they can't show anything like impacting the human really almost at all. Like, so they're just these like incomprehensibly cut action scenes where you don't understand where anybody is in space. Like things are clearly killing people, but you don't know what killed people. It's just a mess. And like overall, compared to some of the rest of the Predator franchise, it comes out looking like a little bit better, but it's just bad and it's not worth your time. But again, it looks like a fucking masterpiece compared to Alien versus Predator Requiem. Because that movie, they doubled down. They were like, we got Paul W.S. Anderson, who's made everything look kind of like a video game or a music video. Why don't we just get the people who directed like the music video for Linkin Park's Crawling and like a couple other things, and they've never directed a movie before. They'll only direct one movie again after this that also I think has like a 4.5 on IMDb. And then I think they just started their own special effects company. I don't remember their names. I don't care. I'm not spending any more time looking up anything about this movie. But this movie just sucks in such an insane way. It is, I wrote down here, this movie is sociopathically cruel. It starts with a father and like a 8 to 10 year old boy on a hunting trip getting attacked by facehugger aliens, and you're like, wow, that was kind of intense to show that little boy get attacked by that alien. Oh, don't worry, they'll cut back 20 minutes later and you'll see the chest burster come out of the little boy. Like, that's the tone of this movie. They don't give a fuck about anybody. And the people they want you to give a fuck about are terrible characters. This is the people writing this movie. They went, okay, who's going to be our sympathetic leads? Why don't we make it a bunch of like hot CW teens that are assholes and bullying each other? Okay, we need some fodder, some people for the predators and aliens to kill. Who do we have? Let's go with little boy and his dad. Dad of a similarly aged daughter. The unhoused living in a sewer. And then a scene that really took the cake for me later on, which is when the alien goes into a maternity ward and there are mothers who are about to give birth and it feeds alien babies into them so that we can cut back to the doctor coming into that room and a bunch of alien babies bursting out of pregnant women's stomachs. Like, this is just like, it's so mean. It's so mean. You know, like that none of these people deserve fates that are this intense, that are this grotesque. And it just feels like you're watching something but made by someone who doesn't have a conscience. You know, like I can't describe it any other way. It feels like only sociopaths worked on this movie. And then add on top of it all the standard shit. It's bad dialogue. It's a bad plot. The actors are bad. The direction is bad. It looks like shit. And you just have like a movie that I wish I could erase from the earth. It is
Okay,
that
so
level.
we got to talk about your commitment right now.
Yeah.
So you watched Alien versus Predator
Yes.
and was like, that was bad.
Yeah.
And then
I
you
did.
continued and watched Alien versus Predator Requiem. I gotta ask you this question, man. Was there a moment in time where you were like, I don't need to do this? Because
A single
you
second.
didn't. You didn't need to do this.
No, they're both on. The problem is they're all on Hulu. Alien vs. Predator ended. It started to queue up Alien vs. Predator Requiem, and at no moment was I like, I can cancel this. I just immediately was like,
it back to back.
I'm back to back.
You didn't even take a break.
No.
What is wrong? I gotta check on you, man. Like this is just. You were talking about like being like these people are psychopaths. I am now worried about you right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I might have problems. I might have some problems. Oh boy. But yes, I wish I could. I think I said this the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago, where I was like, I don't like to give out Fs for a lot of stuff because or whatever.
This is an F.
This is an F. This is an F. Alien versus Predator Requiem is absolutely an F. Like it has just no redeeming qualities to it. You know? So, okay.
All right.
Fuck it. I don't even know when that comes out. 2006, 2007, it doesn't matter. The next one on our list is Predators, which is like 2010 or 2011.
And this, I'm excited to talk to you about this because I have some thoughts. I liked this movie. I like this movie. It is a very, very rewatchable movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I have some thoughts though.
Please. I took the floor for a while. You go.
And it's
because the only thing I'll say is I generally agree. I like Predators. It's a movie I enjoyed. I bought it after it came
out. My main thought is about the casting. because I think this was miscasted, right? So,
Yeah.
first off, am I the only one who just can't take Adrian Brody as a tough guy seriously? Because I cannot take Adrian Brody as a tough guy seriously. I just, I'm just like,
No, you're not alone.
no,
You're not alone. Is
no.
Adrian
You're
Brody
just
action star doesn't make sense to me either.
great actor, great actor. Action star? No, no.
No.
Like,
Mm-mm.
my big thing was what he tried to do with his voice to make him sound tough was such a fake guy thing, like fake tough guy thing to do. Like, like just it just sounded so stupid. Um, and I'm that like
What
once
does
you
he even
start
do?
trying to talk like this,
Oh, that's it.
I just
I
can't
remember
take you
now.
seriously. Like like I know his voice. His voices are like a little nasally and everything. But you know what? A tough guy doesn't give a fuck about what he sounds
Mhm.
like because he will kill you. You know
Yep.
what anyone in the military does? Nobody walks around in the military, let me take my voice down to this. Nobody does that. They're just like, this is who I am, and I can shoot you. Like, what's the problem? And
Mhm.
so whoever was directing Adrian Brody had to be like, first day had to be like, no, 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 no. Like,
Yeah.
don't play a tough guy. Be tough. Like, like
Yeah.
those are two very
Yeah.
different things. He's very
I don't know why you're
obviously,
here. I don't know
yeah,
why you're here, Adrian Brody, but you're here now.
but you're here now, so like I don't know if I hired you or not, but yeah, like but don't play a tough guy. Just just be tough. Right? Like that's
Mhm.
all you have to do and you will survive as this character. And instead he was like, "No, I need to play a tough guy." You know,
It
like just
it it feels like a misread of like the Christian Bale Batmans, where he was like, "Oh,
yeah, it does.
Christian Bale did this with his voice to sound tough," and it's like, no, man, he did
No.
that to make it sound like Batman was different than Bruce Wayne. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't. uh,
Um and then I think Topher Grace in this moment was the wrong person to be the to start as the and this is a like spoiler warning for a movie 15 years old, y'all.
yep, yep,
Um he's the wrong person to start as the likable goofball, I don't know why I'm here guy, and then turn. I think we needed a more charismatic actor that you actually like. Like, because Topher Grace is not somebody who he doesn't I don't know how to explain this, but he's not somebody you immediately are like, "Oh, yeah, I like him. I hope he survives." Right? He seems like a
yeah,
very nice human being who is just a little standoffish. That's always the read I got on Topher Grace as a person,
right,
right?
right.
Like,
If
but
this was before, I had to look this up. This is 3 years after Spider-Man 3. If this is
yeah,
before Spider-Man 3, it might be the right moment to cast Topher Grace. If he's still just Eric from That 70s Show in everybody's mind, I think fine casting.
but
If
he's
when
everyone's
he's already that,
I disagree with this. I disagree with this because Eric is the worst part of that movie or that show. Eric Eric is the
well,
straight man holding
yeah,
it
you're
all
wrong.
together, but he's the worst part of that show. He's the only not funny person in that show. He's the
Yeah,
person that makes me go, why does Hyde and Donna and like and everybody else like this kid? Like
you know
he
what it is though.
sucks.
It's the
It's that
kid
he
with
has a
the
car.
hangout. It's that
Yeah,
he
it's
has a
that he
car
has
in
a
the
place to
basement.
hang out,
He
that he
has
has
the
a car.
basement.
That's
It's
the
that.
only reason why all of these funny characters like this guy. Uh,
Yep. Yep. That is what it is. And look, you're
um,
right. You're right. It would still be not great casting. I think it would be better casting
yeah,
if
yeah,
this
yeah.
was pre Spider-Man 3. But I still think you're correct. There could be a better actor that you wouldn't see coming as like the villain kind
Yes.
of drop.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Because
because it does turn
I think
out he's like a
walking
serial
into
killer.
this, him being like, I'm a doctor, and I was like, no, you're not, you stupid ass
Yeah.
motherfucker. Like, I
No,
hope you
you're
die.
You're
Uh,
slimy as fuck. I don't know what's going on with you, but I don't
yeah,
like it. Yeah,
yeah,
that's your
yeah.
immediate reaction to him.
When
Yeah.
if you got George Clooney, I mean Clooney's not going to do this role, but if you got George Clooney in that role, everyone would be like rooting for Clooney. And that's what I think, this is what I think Predators didn't do as well as other Predator movies that needs to be talked about. The point of a Predator movie is to have likable, sympathetic characters that you want to get out of the situation. You want them to win. Okay? The only person who I wanted to win was Lawrence Fishburne. And he
Yeah.
dies so. I forgot. I rewatched this movie and I was like, I can't wait for when Lawrence Fishburne comes up. He's the best part of this movie. He's only in
Mhm.
like 10 minutes of the movie, but he's awesome. But he's awesome. Why would you kill him so quickly? He was the guy
And
I wanted off this planet, and they
yeah,
killed him. And I think
yeah.
that's the like
He knows the planet. He could be the best. Introduce him early and keep him till the end
yeah,
would be better. A
and make
hundred
him
percent.
make let him sacrifice himself so the others can get off. Right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that. I think that's a better movie. But I think what really Predators gets wrong is it doesn't have likable characters that you're really pulling for.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it has
I
a
think
better
that's correct.
script. It has a better
Mhm.
script. It's a better idea for a
Yep.
Predator movie, I think, than just
Mhm.
Lost in like Predators in LA. And I think it has not like not like Predator level action sequences, but like really fun action sequences.
Oh yeah. It's very fun action sequences and like and really in my mind I always think about like the first shot in this film, which is Adrian Brody like falling through the sky to crash land on this
Yeah, it's
planet.
jarring.
And it's jarring. It's a badass opening. And like, yeah, I think that there's some stuff about this that's like really well directed. Um, and I will say this director, I don't think he's really gone on to do much. His name is Nimrod Antal, but he did his first movie is this movie called Control with a K and two L's, which is a movie I would recommend in general if you haven't seen it. But it's like a Hungarian, independent Hungarian movie that's kind of like a crime-ish thriller that's all filmed in the underground like train stations in Hungary. It's a cool movie, and like clearly
It's
enough
on
people
Tubi
saw it. Oh
right
shit, yeah.
now. It's
I
on
would
Tubi.
recommend watching that. It has some really cool stuff in it. It's like a little uneven in times, but the parts that work like really work and are really cool. And it's just a cool idea for a movie, to basically follow these people who are like the control or the people who are supposed to like check to see if you have tickets on the train. So they're kind of like the cops of the subterranean train system, but like everybody hates them and their lives are miserable and they like never see daylight. So like there's just there's some good thematic stuff there. It's pretty cool. Um, so I like this director in general, and I think he did a good job. I think this was the first thing where they like brought him to Hollywood to try and do something. I think he did a pretty good job of like doing the pacing, making the action look good, having a bit of style in there. Um, but again, I don't disagree with anything you're saying in terms of like the plot, how it moves, the characters. I like the general concept of it of being like here are a bunch of killers that are the most dangerous people on Earth, and they're all dropped onto like basically a hunting planet for the predators to see if they can kill them. Like that is a badass idea, but that idea also sort of inherently means your characters are not super likable. You
Well,
know?
this also makes sense to have like a guy who's done a couple indie films, but doing his uh but like making like his first Hollywood movie. Like he doesn't have the gravitas to go up to Oscar winner Adrian Brody and be like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Why are you
why
doing the
are you
voice?
why like he doesn't like this actually, as you're talking about this, I agree with you, everything you just said. I think he did a good job mainly directing like all the action set pieces, and I think he has a lot of talent, but he also doesn't have the the ability first time Hollywood director to go up to Adrian Brody and just be like, dude, dude, no, like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Or the voice to go like, the Lawrence Fishburne stuff is really fucking working.
yeah, like we need
Should we
more of,
rewrite
yeah,
this?
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Can we do some reshoots with him and like make him a bigger part of this movie? Yeah, he doesn't have the gravitas to go back and to be like, hey, this is how we make this a really good movie.
Yeah.
But I think he has some
Yeah.
real skill and some real talent, and I'm excited to watch more of the stuff that he's done. It looks
Yeah.
like he did
Yeah.
a
Check out Control.
2025 movie starring Dave Bautista,
Oh
which
shit, okay.
I'd never seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's like he's just a good visual director. I'm not gonna tell you that he has like the greatest ideas consistently or the scripts are good or whatever, but like he does action well and he's good. Has some genuine visual talent. But it is like that movie ends up just being like a very good B movie,
yeah, yeah,
and like that's
solid B, solid. If you like the
so,
Predator movies, you will like this movie, right? Like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, from a positive back down to another negative, we have 2018's Shane Black's The Predator. Man, the naming conventions in the Predator movies not the best. We got Predator, we got Predator 2, we had Alien versus Predator, we got Alien versus Predator Requiem, which I didn't even mention, but Requiem. Why is Requiem in the title? I heard someone suggest that it was literally just to be like they wanted R to be there to prove to audiences that they made this one R rated because people were pissed off that the other one was PG-13. So they just chose some random R word that seemed okay, and they just went with it. And then we have Predators and now The Predator. So not a lot of variation so far in these. But what are your thoughts on The Predator?
oh, it absolutely sucks. Like this is uh
Yep,
like for
agreed.
all of the other movies we've talked about today,
Mm-hmm.
like I didn't like it, but this part was really cool, right? I
Right.
don't have that for this movie. This movie made me think less of Shane Black. It made me think less of the writer Fred Decker. It makes me think less of everyone involved in it. It is
Yeah.
unwatchable. I we shouldn't even talk about it. It's so bad. We shouldn't even talk about it. That's how I feel
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah. Uh, I agree very much. I only have two things I want to say. The first is that the Predator should thank fucking God that Alien versus Predator Requiem exists, or else this is the thing that I would be hate ranting about. If I hadn't also watched Alien versus Predator Requiem. The second thing is like this film. I think everything you just said about like I've lost respect for these people is very true. Um, I think the reason of, in case anybody doesn't remember this movie or did not see this movie, the reason for that for me is that it really reveals Shane Black to be a person who is like very much stuck in the 90s in terms of his like, I don't know, like political and social consciousness in a lot of ways. Like it makes this main character, little boy, autistic, and that is a big part of the plot. Is that he is autistic. Uh, but the depiction of autism is basically just Rain Man, and then they literally have like these weird offensive fucking things in there where it's like his bullies are calling him Asperger, because kids definitely still know the term Asperger's and are going to make a pun on it. That's not already a dated term. Um, there's a character who has PTSD and also clearly just has Tourette's. But every time he says something like his Tourette's tick happens, everybody just looks at him like this guy's crazy, right? And it's like played for jokes every time. Uh, there was a line I wrote down in here where they're running away from the predator with the kid, and the kid is not even really doing anything. He's just making noises. And Olivia Munn's character says, "Can you tell your kid to tone down the psychosis?" Which, okay, way to make people likable. You know, Really, this movie again, it can be summed up in one thing, which is that right at the beginning of this film, they show the kid in school and they do a setup shot of the school, and the setup shot has a sign outside of the school, where they put little messages on the school sign, and that sign says Halloween haunt 10:30 : welcome parents and STDs. So like they're abbreviating students, but they abbreviated it as STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. Haha, peak comedy, right? Like it's so, and that shot is not a one-off. That they're back at the school later, and the sign is still the same, and it's in the background of several different shots. Like they wanted to make sure you saw it at some point. That's the level of like humor and maturity that is in this movie, and it's just genuinely makes me think that like Shane Black is a bad person overall.
I do remember I saw this movie because I was like, cool, new Predator movie starring Keegan-Michael Key. I love him. I love Key and Peele. And
Yeah.
I actually walked out of this and I was kind of mad at Keegan-Michael Key. Like, kind of. I was mad at him. I was mad.
That's how I felt about Olivia Munn, too. That's how I felt about Sterling K. Brown, who does kind of fucking eat the scenery in the scenes he's in. That's actually the one thing I will say about this film, is when Sterling K. Brown is on screen, it for a moment, you're like, this is kind of fun, because he just seems like he does not give a fuck about anything that's happening. And, like, that's great. Every other part of the movie is bad and hard to watch. And just, like, very gory in a cartoonish way that's, like, not appealing to me at all. It all looks bad. It's not filmed well. It's a piece of shit. The Predator is really, really bad.
Yeah.
All right. So then we get to 2021? 2020?
2022.
2022's? 2022's Prey. According to which we trust on all matters. 2022's Prey. Which, man, 4 years and a change of creative hands has done wonders, for the Predator franchise once we get to Prey. Just, slow clap.
Dan Trachtenberg, you, sir, are just obviously both a gentleman as well as a scholar. I'm so happy you have this in your hands. Good sir.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
I will say, Dan Trachtenberg, you are one beautiful motherfucker.
He is one beautiful motherfucker for giving us this movie. Now, if you told me I've watched this movie more often than any other movie in the last 3 years, I believe you, right? Like I love this movie. This movie is phenomenal in every way. I remember watching it the weekend it was released on Hulu, and immediately Google searching if I could watch it in a movie theater, realizing I couldn't watch it in the movie theater because fuck you, COVID, fuck you, and getting so pissed that I couldn't watch it in a movie theater. Like,
and fuck you, Hulu, a little bit, because theaters were. Theaters were open. They had restrictions, but they were open.
They were open. Like, you could only do like 20 or 30% capacity or something, but you could have put this in a movie theater. Mm-hmm. And I'm so mad I didn't ever get to see this in a movie theater.
I know. If they released it today, like one day only, I would stop. If it was in 20 minutes,
I'm stopping everything I'm doing.
We would go. Yeah. Immediately. Yeah.
No question. This took. So first off, great job with building up and centering your whole movie around a very likable character.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
A real issue in the Predator franchise. By the way.
Real issue. Hasn't happened since the original Predator. Since Arnold. Amazingly, I'm amazed at how hard this has seemed for this franchise to be like, what we should do is we should center it around a likable character that you want them to survive, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's what we should do, right? Everybody agrees? Yes?
Feels obvious.
Let's make that Topher Grace. Like what? Like, just what are you doing?
Boy.
And so just like everything. So it has amazing action sequences. I could have used a little bit less of the CGI bear, a little bit less. Just it
Yeah.
didn't always
Yeah.
look great. Could have
Mm-hmm.
fixed that up a little bit. Great dog character, great dog character,
Love a good
five-star
dog.
dog character, and
100%.
if you are watching this and thinking about making a movie, you want to know how you're going to make that movie better for me? Put a dog in it.
Mm-hmm.
It really feels like somebody took the Predator franchise and was like, let's make this the perfect movie for Dave, and they did.
Yeah,
Like,
they did it. God damn did it.
God, and even like and this is the problem with the bear sequence when the bear is fighting the predator, which is a dope sequence. I should have been
Mhm.
way more psyched about that sequence. They should have put that at night.
Yeah.
They should have put
Yeah.
that at night so that it's a little bit harder to see because the sequence between the tiger and her looked so much better because you can't really see the tiger that well.
Yeah.
And
I
in
agree. I
and
agree.
and and this is what the one thing that this movie owes to past Predator movies that makes it better is I am used to maybe a main character dying two or three, like a couple of times, right? Like I am used to main characters dying in this franchise. So when she's going up against the tiger, I'm like, oh shit, that would be really cool if she died right now. Like that's a
Mhm.
really interesting, and she's not really the main character, pulling one of that. Um,
Right.
and that
Yeah,
is a
they
really
could have pulled off.
exciting. That makes that scene more exciting. But that I fully acknowledge that is due to not what the movie did, but past Predator movies
Mhm.
not being afraid to kill off people.
But
Um,
that's great writing, isn't it?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're working with the franchise, you understand what the franchise has set up and what the precedents are and what the audience expects, and you can twist those, you can play into them, you can, subvert expectations. Like, yeah, it does all of that really well.
it does
You
it
know.
all so well. Um, and like surprise everyone based on what I just said. This is my favorite of the Predator movies. I
Mm-hmm.
genuinely do not believe that the original Predator holds a candle to this movie because
No.
the non-action sequences have good writing. It's really it. That's
Yeah.
really all you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the amazing thing is, it's not even like this is the greatest writing in the world or something. It's literally just a guy came in and he was like, what if the main character had a character arc and an actual reason to go fight and hunt the predator?
yeah. That's
Like, there's literally to this point, even Arnold, who like the one thing I'll say again, Arnold is likable because he's Arnold, but
yeah,
also they actually make a smart decision early in that film where they basically go, his team of mercenaries are an elite unit, but they just work on rescue missions. And like there's a reveal that they got tricked into doing what's not actually a rescue mission, and he's like pissed off about it.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
do
yeah,
at
yeah.
least get a little bit of a like, hey, this guy's not that bad. Like he's a commando, he's just trying to like do stuff that helps people. He's not trying to like go in and like displace a dictatorship or some shit. But even that is still just like this character is just in this jungle for reasons that he shouldn't be. That's not really an arc. This is literally being like this person also, and it's also amazing because it's literally just the same motivation as the predator. They're like, what if we gave the predator's prey the same motivation that the predator has, which is to prove themselves by going on a hunt and killing something? And like that's perfect. You now got a protagonist and antagonist who have the exact opposite goal and can clash with each other. Like it's good, obvious good choices to make when you're writing something. You know? Uh so thank you, Dan Track, again, for just making all of the obvious good choices. And that's not even going into how cool it is that we have a female protagonist, how cool it is that we have a Native American protagonist, how cool it is that we're in the past and you get to see like the Predator's technology of the past too. Like all of that stuff is super creative and super cool. Just basically seeing like proto versions of the typical Predator weapons that we've seen before. And then yeah, incredibly satisfying conclusion. Great final set piece kind of fight between her and the Predator. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Oh,
and
and
look,
we
whatever.
haven't even talked
Spoilers.
about the trappers. We hold on. We got to
Oh
give some
yeah,
space for the trappers because they
yeah.
are a phenomenal part of this movie, creating a human character to die. And this is another example of great writing, right? Like being like, hey, we need some more human death here. Like we need to make the
Mm-hmm.
predator seem a little bit scarier to this person. How do we do that but also make it satisfying for the audience to watch? And so they introduced the trappers, and that was a great move because not only did it give tension, did you hear that original Predator? It brought tension to a scene that didn't involve the Predator, but it also gave an extremely satisfying death for the audience. Like that was a stellar move um, that that in a writing piece has to be brought up. And I don't even know, did Darren? No, Patrick. Let's give him his flowers. Patrick Olson is the guy who did the screenplay. Uh,
Oh, I
I
thought it
don't.
was written directed. Yeah, I mean,
Story
great job.
by both of them.
Okay,
Screenplay
but actual
by
screenplay.
Patrick Olson, who I'm looking up right now. I actually want to know more about this guy because
Yeah.
I'm with you until like we started talking about Prey. I did not know
Mm-hmm.
that this guy wrote it.
Yeah, yeah. I assume this was all Trachtenberg. It is a great script overall. I'll say even again, like there is a general, and this is like a thing in horror movies that again, if you're just writing one, you need to kind of understand, which is like you do when you kill people, you need to have some reason because people are going to die very brutally in your horror movie. You have to have some reason why the audience isn't necessarily going to be like completely devastated by that and can move on, or isn't going to be mad at you and then move on, right? Like, and that's Alien versus Predator Requiem does the exact opposite of it. That's why I hated it so much. They don't kill the people that I wouldn't care about, and they kill all the people who are obviously sympathetic fucking people just by virtue of who they are, you know? And even before you get to the trappers, which like those are incredible sequences and great kills. You also like the people who are dying are like other members of her tribe, but they are specifically like the male hunters who have doubted her.
yeah,
So like you don't like it's not like that hits a little bit more emotionally. You don't want them to die, but it isn't like you love them as they are about to die from the predator killing. Like all of that is also very good. You know, you
yeah,
need to make people at the very least like a little unsympathetic
yeah,
before they get literally ripped in half by like a giant alien or something. You know, or else it's just not going to seem like proportionally okay that amount of violence was done to them. You know, and yeah, when you have a great villain, kill them in a very satisfying way. You know, to go back to the Predator for a second, that Sterling K. Brown character is a good villain who is a charismatic villain who is definitely a big piece of shit. His death is that he puts the Predator cannon on his shoulder, and at one moment he looks to the right, and the Predator cannon thinks that he wants to fire to the right, and it blows his head off. So like no one even kills him. You don't get the satisfaction of like the Predator killing him in a cool way or one of the human characters killing him in a cool way. He just dies in a sort of like, fuck him, kind of way. And like that's also, yeah, terrible writing in comparison to like how the trappers die in Prey.
So I just looked him up. Patrick Olson, his only other
Yes.
film credit is a writer in Predator Badlands.
Good for you, buddy. Good
So
for you. You know? Yeah. God bless you. You did an amazing job with Prey. Um, yeah. I mean, spoiler, that's also my number one.
yeah,
Prey is my favorite of the Predator
Oh, and
movies.
it's not close to me.
Yeah, yeah, that's not close. All right, we got two more. We got
Yeah.
Predator. The next one came out earlier. Animated film Predator, Killer of Killers. I've had you start. You've started the last couple. I'm just going to start this one off with my thoughts here.
Go for it.
Predator, Killer of Killers. I think this is obviously like it's another direct to Hulu kind of thing. It's animated. I would say that this is like the animation looks very good. It's one of these things where it's like they have the movie basically takes place in 4 parts, and it's like, you know, big badass killers over time being hunted by the Predator, and ultimately then in part 4, spoilers for this too, obviously. Spoilers for everything. We're not a spoiler-free podcast. Part 4 is they're all brought to the Predator planet to, you know, basically get in the ring and fight each other or fight a big predator. I honestly don't remember the last part of it very well.
You nailed it.
Yeah, that's
they
it.
fight.
Okay,
they
cool.
fight each other, and then the winner fights the predator.
The winner fights the predator. Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's the detail I was missing. I would say the first 2 of these sections are super cool and super badass. Like, just great animation, great fight stuff. Also, like, very interesting, like, playing around with the Predator design and, like, what weapons it has at what periods in history. All of that's really cool. I get for the sort of, like, plot of it why you would make the 3rd section a, like, fighter pilot in World War II, but that section to me was a lot less interesting and cool looking than the first 2. And I also just, again, it like brings up this feeling of like, okay, so the Predators also want to prove that they're the best fighter pilots, I guess. I don't know. We've just never seen this before as a thing that a Predator would do.
I think it misunderstands a little bit of what's cool about the Predator. Right? The Predator isn't about shooting you down from an airplane, from a spaceship, because they have better technology. They want to, like, they do have better technology, but they also want to hunt you.
Yep.
Right? They want to get their trophy. And so the hunt is very important to them. And so why is he trying to shoot down this person, these people, multiple people, from his spaceship instead of landing and hunting, when the spaceship only proves that, like, cool, you have a better ship?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it just feels against the ethos of the Predator. Is how it felt to me.
I think I generally agree with that. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Is like, yes, of course he does, generally speaking, have better technology, and that helps him be a better hunter. But like when it comes down to it, again, you have that moment in the first one where it's like that character Billy challenges him to the knife fight. Like he accepts because that's the ethos of the Predator.
That is, you know, he doesn't accept and then go boom, right?
Right.
He's like, oh, this is you at your best. I want to beat you at your best. Let's go.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Everybody else was shooting him with firearms, so he used his firearms. If you just want a knife fight, we'll do a knife fight. Like, you know, that feels more in realm with the Predator as a character. Now we understand it. I could see you saying, well, it's a dog. The other thing is a dog fight, but it's like, again, like his arms are so much more advanced than the like World War II planes that it just feels silly.
Yeah.
You know, if it was like a fighter jet today versus that ship, it would feel a little bit more.
I think it would be more interesting, right? If it was Top Gun style, you know,
sure.
I think that would have been more interesting. Still, I don't think it would have been in line with the Predator ethos.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that third part just didn't, I was confused by that choice, except for the fact that, again, like by the end of that movie, it's like they need somebody to be able to fly the Predator ship to get them off the planet. So, but it just feels like you're doing a lot. You're doing a third of your, or a quarter of your movie now is based on just getting this one character to make it work for this one plot point.
Yeah.
You know? And then I thought the last little quarter of it was also still pretty cool.
I thought this movie was very cool. I think
Yeah.
the animation was awesome. Um, I think it did lose what we talked about earlier of what's important from a Predator movie to have likable characters that you're actually rooting for. Only giving each character around 15 minutes or like maybe even 10 to introduce themselves was not like I would have redone this. Um, I would have redone this following one of the three. Pick pick your poison, one of the three, and then have like a solid hour of them fighting the predator in our world, then plucking them down with like Predators style with a bunch of other people, but this is still the main character that you're rooting for, right? You're not rooting for like let's say it's the Viking or if it's the
Yeah.
Viking,
I
they're
love
still
the
going to get
Viking woman.
plopped down with the samurai and with a fighter pilot or whatever, but you're still rooting for the Viking. The Viking is who you want to win. I
Yeah.
think that's a better choice and would have made for a better Predator movie. That doesn't mean the animation isn't fucking sick, because it is. That doesn't
True.
mean the fight scenes with the Predator weren't sick, because they are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah. No, I very much agree, especially in your idea of just like taking one of them, and I'm trying like imagining right now a movie that was built around that Viking woman character, which is like she's the first thing you see for a reason.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think they know that's the most compelling one. You know, I like the samurai character a lot as well, but like the Viking thing is like just something we have seen less of in films, and in TV, unless you just watch that show Vikings all the time.
Yeah.
And like I'm more interested in that. And if they had even done just like an actual live action film based just around her, just do Prey basically, but it's this Viking woman, I also would have watched the shit out of that. So like, you know, I just it's a cool idea, but it does and it's executed pretty damn well. I think it gets less strong for the most part as it goes on, from that opening with the Viking woman and the Predator having that like crazy punching thing, which is so cool. I mean, overall though, it does feel like it's like a side story in the main for like it is what it's supposed to be, which is just like we're giving you more general background on like the Predator's world and the history of the Predator. And like I'm up for that. That's a pretty cool thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um and this, unless you have anything else to say on that, this leads us finally to Predator Badlands. Uh the new for 2025, also Dan Trachtenberg release, where we get uh the Predator for the first time as the protagonist of a Predator. I have not talked to you. We have not talked at all about this yet. What are your thoughts on Predator Badlands?
I don't think that having the Predator as your protagonist is the right.
Mm, mm.
I think
I'm
it goes back to I remember talking with you about um us in our horror conversation. We were like, you know what we don't need? We don't need the trauma of the bad guy to explain why he's killing everyone. I don't need that. I don't need that.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't, in that same realm, I don't need the Predator to learn about friendship. I don't care. I don't I don't want that. I don't want to learn that the Predator has a really shitty dad. Like I don't want any of that. I don't know why it exists, and I don't like it. It's just all of that is eye rolling to me, right?
Sure. Sure.
Um, I
Would you?
also
Yeah.
don't understand the differences in the machines in this world.
In the machines.
In the
You mean
okay.
like the synthetics or
Yes,
whatever
yes,
from
yes,
like
yes,
the
yes, yes.
Alien from the
So
Weyland Yutani Alien franchise stuff? Yeah.
so if I'm blanking on I gotta look up this character's name.
The
But the
synth
one
Elle
the synth
Fanning's character.
that well, they're both Elfanic. That's why I
Yeah,
can't describe it.
that is the problem. You do need to tell them apart by character name. Yeah, the good
Um,
one, the
the
good
good
Elle
one,
Fanning.
the good
Yeah, yeah,
Elfanic. Thea.
yeah, yeah.
Thea.
What's the other one's name so we know?
Great question. It just said Thea. Uh, in this count. Hold on.
You talk, I'll find
Tessa.
it.
Tessa.
Tessa,
Thea and Tessa.
Taya and Tessa. Tessa's bad.
Thea.
Taya's good. Okay,
Yes, but they were
got it.
both created the same to have feelings, right?
Yeah, I think yes, correct. Maybe
So
there's not a lot about that
is
in the movie.
yeah, but like why is one so evil and one is good when they're both made the same and both given feelings to better interact with their world? Is it just
Yeah.
that she also found the power of friendship in this other that didn't make any sense to me.
I mean, she seems pretty friendly right away.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you ask the writers, they would say yes. It's just sort of like okay. So here's where I will say, having watched more stuff within the Alien franchise, personally, I think than you helps me a little bit. Where I will say, I think there is stuff within different Alien properties where they are trying to sort of like people are really shitty to synthetics.
Yeah.
To these android characters, and there's generally some arguments being made by the people doing different alien things about like synthetics really aren't like robots, they are more like people, and like you should basically be rooting for these synthetic characters, especially in the more recent Alien franchise stuff. They did this in like Romulus, and they did it within Alien Earth, where it's just sort of like these are different personalities and they can like learn and act things differently. So like there is some precedent for that. Why these two characters these two synths that look exactly the same and like refer to each other as sisters, and why they are so vastly different, I think is underexplained. Yeah,
that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And then I was this came to mind during this movie. That is I'm not saying they should do this. I'm not saying, why do they make both male and female looking synths?
And they all look the same, too.
Especially if they all look the same, right? Wouldn't it just make more sense to have one model and just go? If you're going to make all the males and all the females look the same, why are you making that the defining characteristic? Why is it not race? Why is it not, why is it gender? And I don't know why this bothered me so much, but why weren't all of the robots why weren't all the synths just Alphanic? That feels like it makes way more sense to then instead of having a male robot. Anyways, a male synth.
Yes.
Anyways, this is a dumb thought I had while watching this movie. It is not a criticism. It's just a thing I thought. I don't know why I'm even sharing it. This had no point.
I mean, honestly, I like the criticism. I will say that the in-world answer is very unclear. The movie-making answer is the movie would be more expensive if Elle Fanning had to be every synth.
Yeah, that's very true.
If they couldn't just have some random guy be all of the synths that got killed by the Predator at the end, we would be spending more money by having Elle Fanning on set a hell of a lot more. But, like, that's it. That's really the only good explanation. I mean, look, man, I don't have a ton that I can really disagree with you on. It's really just a level of, like, I think I just enjoyed it more than you did.
No, hold on. I like this movie. I really like this movie. Wait.
I got the vibe that you did not. I don't know.
Okay. I just got all of my like minor critiques out the way.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Please. Sorry.
Because
take the floor.
if you are going to, so I don't love the idea of making the synth
Mhm.
the um the likable character that you hope survives. And then, but I did like the idea
Or
of,
the Predator.
or the Predator. No, I don't.
Yeah.
As a general rule, I don't like that. Right?
Mhm.
Um, I did like giving them a pet. I did like that. The
If
pet
you're
was very
gonna
fun.
make a movie more Dave friendly, put
Give
a
him,
dog
put a
or
dog in
dog
it.
equivalent in the movie.
Give him a dog. It was great.
Give
I
him
love the
a
dog.
cute little dog alien thing.
Uh, I love the
Uh,
dog. I did. I did. I just think it would have been more effective if, and like, because I think Elle Fanning was great. I think if you were going to try to make a synth likable, casting Elle Fanning is the way to do it, right? Like she was absolutely amazing in this movie. I loved her acting.
mhm. Yeah.
I just wish she was a real human. I wish she was a real human saved by the Predator. And then the only way for her to get off this world as an explorer is to connect back up with the synths.
Mhm.
But the synths don't care about her, right? Like have a
Yeah.
lot of the movie look similarly, um, but just make that an actual human. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Again,
I
it's
I
like
just
it's
think that's a more interesting movie. I think that's a more interesting premise. But she was
and it will.
wonderful. The action scenes were very fun. They were very
Hmm.
fun. I enjoyed them all. They looked
Yeah.
really good. I think Dan Trachtenberg is an excellent, excellent director. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
I had, in
And it's
general, I
very
had a
good at the
great
action in
time
particular.
with this movie. I
Hmm.
just, I just didn't really connect to the story of it all.
Sure. Yeah. That's. I think all of that is pretty fair. I think specifically what you said about like her being a human would have been more effective is like, man, what I think this the issue is that it is still leaning too much on the alien stuff. You know, in a way, it's like within the world of Alien, we can understand that synthetics should be seen as like very sympathetic characters that you should care about, at least in the more recent Alien franchise type stuff. Um, but I think still in the real world, a human is just inherently going to be something, a character that we care about more than a synthetic.
Yeah,
And that might
yes.
be the exact kind of discrimination that the recent Alien movies are trying to speak out against. But it doesn't matter, man. We don't have real synthetics in this world, and we generally will
And
care more
AI
about
may be
humans.
destroying this world
And
currently.
AI
Like,
may be destroying this world, and like we're not going to be as sympathetic to a synthetic character, especially because it seems like it's really fucking hard to kill them.
yeah,
So like, you know, it's just not going to have that same level of tension as her being a human would be. I think that is very true. I mean, I think it makes sense story wise to be like humans wouldn't survive for a fucking second on this planet, which is why this is a synthetic. But like, I don't care, man. Just make it a soldier. You know, like, yeah, you know, it's one of their better soldiers. At the very least, that. Or in
yeah.
the Alien franchise, there's also some play around now with people who are like were kind of they were human, but to survive they were kind of made part synth or something. Like there's weird hybrid shit going on in the Alien universe now. Make it one of those, you know? Like at the very least, I think that would be fine. All of that aside, um, yeah, I just like I had a really good time watching this, and I think I'm a little less bothered by the Predator as protagonist than you are. I think that that is fine. It's hard to disagree when you phrase it as "I don't care that the Predator had a bad dad." It's hard to disagree with that because like that is a hilarious takedown of this. Really,
This
I
guy
really
only
don't have
kills
many
people
notes.
because he has a shitty dad. And I'm like, no, that's
Yeah,
not the only reason. This is stupid. Like,
no, yeah. But like I think the guy doing the Predator performance does a good job. I think the character work on the Predator is fine. The effects on the Predator are great.
yeah,
Um, you know, the effects in general look really, really good throughout the entire thing. I love the idea of like the whole world is trying to kill you. Um, and you know, again, the pet, the idea of like we have this cute little thing that shows up, and it will grow into this big unkillable thing that is not like an evil monster or a terrifying
No,
monster.
it's
It's
just a thing trying to survive. That's all it
it's
is.
just a thing trying to survive.
And you keep
Um,
trying to go kill it, and it defends itself. Pretty
right.
reasonable move by the monster. I'm just saying,
by
like,
by the monster thing, the Kralisk or whatever it's called. Um, I might have gotten the name right. That also might be a metal band. I don't know. Let's call it the Kralisk. Um, uh, so yeah, like all of the, again, just generally, all of that kind of works for me. Is it kind of cheesy to be like power of friendship? Yes. Is it also kind of like not? Is it tonally just sort of like a big shift for the Predator franchise? You know, I think also yes. You know, like I think
and I think that's kind of. I honestly think I've knocked this movie down a peg in my head because I'm like, oh, please don't just make this guy the star of the Predator franchise. Don't make what's his
yes,
name, Deck, whatever,
deck, deck,
Deck,
yes,
the new star of the Predator franchise. Like, I just don't think that works as well as the whoever the Predator is hunting as the main character.
right, right. I think yeah, that's I think overall because you now I mean I like where that is also a big part of it. Where the franchise is going now, based on this movie and its success, is maybe also factoring into how I feel about the movie a little bit too much. You know? Cuz like I think if I'm just looking at it as like a movie I went to see and had fun with, I rank it pretty high in terms of the Predator films. I even rank it pretty high in terms of like stuff that came out this year, like other action movies this year. I think this is pretty like high up there in terms of the quality we've seen this year. Like this is a very very good one.
I
But
completely agree. Yes.
when I start thinking about like, okay, we've introduced Alien back. Are we going back to Alien versus Predator? Because I don't want to go back to Alien versus Predator. If that's where we're going. You know?
I will give Alien versus Predator a shot if Dan Trachtenberg is the director. I'm seeing that movie. I just want
Yes.
humans in the crosshairs. That's what I want.
Right.
I
Which
want
look, the original
humans. I
Alien
want
versus Predator also did. But like you
yes.
need a better idea. We need Alien versus
Yeah.
Predator with a better idea of how to do Alien versus Predator. But like I'm not that inherently excited for Alien versus Predator, or nor am I excited because this again, spoilers, this ends with a scene of like he goes and kills his bad predator dad, and then his big bad predator mom shows up on a spaceship and it cuts, so it's like a kind of
Yeah,
cliffhanger of like
it's
what's
where
gonna
this movie is obviously going.
right. So like if we're making a there's also a possibility of like are we doing a direct sequel of like future adventures of Deck and Thea and I'm forgetting the name of the cute little thing, but let's again just call it the Kralisk, which who knows.
It works.
Um, it works. I also am not as interested in that as I would be again in like a similar like just continuing to kind of go down the like prey idea hole, or the predator killer of killers hole, literally like if you gave me a choice between doing Predator Badlands and extending the Viking Woman from Predator Killer of Killers into a feature length movie, I would take Viking Woman Killer of Killers. You know, like that is more the direction that I would want to see this franchise go in. And so I'm like, I like this one, and I think it's pretty damn good in comparison to other Predator movies. But I'm also just sort of like, except for just having blind faith that Dan Trachtenberg will fucking do it up, I'm a little concerned about what the next thing is.
I that is exactly how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it sounds like you were a little bit higher on this movie than me. I would probably give it like a B minus C plus, and you would give it like a solid B.
Yes, I would go even as far as a B plus for this. Like, I think for what it is as well done as it can be. It is just that I am not totally sure that I love the direction of what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
You know. So yeah. That is it's the entire Predator franchise. There are 9 Predator movies, if you include the Alien versus Predators. That's pretty crazy, on its own. You know, there are not that many for a movie that came out in 1987 and like was a hit, but I don't think was like the biggest hit of the year or anything. Like I think it had enduring power more because like the Predator was really cool and it just kept getting played on TNT and shit like that, over and over again. For a movie that started from those humble beginnings to have a 9-movie franchise is pretty crazy. And
it was because I just looked it up because I was interested. It was 10th
it was 10th that year.
Largest grossing movie in 1987.
Okay, that's a pretty big hit then.
Yeah,
it's pretty big. I mean, it's not like it's obviously there are 9 bigger movies, but like being in the top 10 is pretty damn good. So retracted. Anyway, these 9 Predator movies. Do you want to go? Do you have a general ranking in your head, or should I tell you my ranking? Okay, so you can tell me where you disagree.
I can just
torture yourself. I can just watching some of them.
I could just put Alien versus Predator and Alien versus Predator Requiem at the bottom. That's fine with me, right?
Sure.
Like, yeah. As a whole, that's where, like, as both movies combined, that's where they deserve to be. They deserve to be at the bottom, and I don't remember which is which, so I'll just put them both at the bottom. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then I think I have to go. Should I just give you my rankings as I'm looking at them right now? Yeah, I'm gonna write them down.
So you've got combined 8 and 9 AVP plus AVPR.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
7 has to be the Predator. It just has no good parts of it, right? Like, it just. Then I'm gonna go Predator 2.
Predator 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now this is where it gets hard. This is actually where it gets hard for me because I have my 1-2 pretty solidly set.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so my one is definitely Prey, obviously, no question.
Easy.
And I think I have to give number 2 to Predators, right? Like I had so much fun watching that movie. I think it gets a lot of things right. I wish there was a bigger name director to just pull Adrian Brody aside and be just like, stop it. Don't stop trying to get your voice 3 octaves lower. Like we don't need that. Just and if he just did that, I would have so much like less, it would easily knock it from like a B to a B plus if we just did that. So okay.
Yep.
And then I think I'm gonna go after Predators. I'm going Badlands, Killer of Killers. Then the first Predator is number.
Okay. Killer of Killers, and then the first Predator is 5.
It's 5. Okay. And if you are telling, if anyone out there, dear
if the fan
listener,
disagrees.
Single listener, if you are going to look me in the eye and say Predator original is better than Prey, I'm going to call you crazy because that is crazy.
Yep.
That's what I have to say about that.
Yep. Okay. I think this is a good ranking. You got Prey, Predators, Badlands, Killer of Killers, original Predator at 5, and then Predator 2, The Predator, and then the Alien versus Predators in 8 and 9 to sort of combine.
Yeah. I think that's a good ranking.
I think that's a pretty damn good ranking. There's not a lot to disagree with there. Here's what I'm going to go with. I think 9 definitively for me is Alien versus Predator Requiem. There's no doubt about it. I gave it an F. 8 is The Predator, which we have also
Okay.
said is like very, very hard
It's
to
unwatchable.
defend.
It's unwatchable.
It's basically unwatchable. 7, I'm going to give to Predator 2.
Okay.
Now,
I mean, we agree, bad movie.
we agree it's a bad movie. 6, I'm going to give to Alien versus Predator.
Okay. So our bottom 5 are all the same.
Yeah.
And if I actually rewatched bottom 4, if I actually rewatched the AVP movies, I might be right in line.
You might agree with me. And I will say specifically, I'm putting AVP above those other 3 because while I think AVP is like of just a consistent middling quality, the other 3 are like, even though they might have times where the quality just dips slightly above that of AVP, they are things that like offended me personally, either by being like racist or being really weird about mental health shit, or just by being sociopathically like fucking cruel to the people that you're killing in the movie. So like AVP doesn't do those things. It's just a standard boring action movie. Number 5.
Now it gets interesting. Now it gets
actually interesting. So number 5, I'm going to give to Predator Killer of Killers. So that was your number 4.
Yep.
A little bit of a difference there. I think it's just like, it is very good, but it's kind of meant to be a side story, It just doesn't feel like one of the mainline Predator movies, and I think it's supposed to not feel like it. It kind of feels like they put together like 4 TV show episodes and made them into a movie,
Yep.
Number 4, I'm going to give to the original Predator.
Wow.
Number 4.
So much lower than I expected it to be.
Look, like when you initially gave that feedback of like, I just think it's boring, I was ready to just sort of like jump down your throat. You were mad
at me. You were legitimately mad at me.
I was legitimate. Yeah, I think my initial thing was like, I tried to watch Predator with you. You didn't even watch the last 20 minutes. Like I was very upset. But again, I took your note. I went back and rewatched, and I was like, yeah, man. Yeah.
I can't believe this shit. I cannot believe it.
It is just that I sort of like, a lot of it is, I remember that last 30 minutes really well. I don't remember the rest of the movie very well. And that last 30 minutes just fucks really hard.
Yeah, and it fucks so hard. Yep.
And that's it, But like, again, we're going through this, and it's like an hour and 45-minute movie. If 40 minutes of it are good, and like very, very good, I don't think that's better than a movie that I think is like mostly good.
And like even if you, I'd rather watch a movie that is middling and doesn't hit the same highs but doesn't hit anywhere near the same lows as an hour of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like and then 45 minutes of cool. That's how I feel.
That's a philosophical thing that like, we may differ from other people in their opinions. I think there are some people who are like, I'd rather have the couple awesome moments and get lower, and I think I even vary a little bit movie to movie on how I feel about that, sometimes, but like, it really just depends on how low those lows are.
Yeah.
And I think the lows in Predator are fine. Like overall, I think it's okay. It's still a good movie in my opinion. It is just sort of like, it's not, in my mind, it was kind of like classic level status, I just sort of had it as like, yeah, like that's one of the better, cooler movies of the 80s. And rewatching it, I'm like, 10th best box office of 1987. They kind of got it right back in 1987. I think they got it right.
I can't believe this change. I can't believe this shift.
I'm as shocked as you are. I was genuinely so mad at you when you said this initially. When you were like, Predator is boring, I was like,
you were ready to fight me. You were
Oh,
so ready to fight me in that moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Where am I? Number 3. Okay, number 3. I'm gonna give to Predators. Um,
Okay,
so
so we
so
flopped
number
2 and
3.
3.
We flopped 2 and 3. Number 3, I give to Predators. I do agree with I really like Predators. I agree. I just think overall Predators has again those lower moments than to
Yeah,
me Predator Badlands has. I think Predator Badlands is more consistently a good movie throughout. So I've got 2 Predator Badlands, and then number 1 with a bullet, like just high above the other ones, is still Prey.
just yeah, it's no question. It's the best movie in this franchise. And if you
Yep.
are going to come at me with Predator, I'm sorry, you're wrong.
No,
You're just
you're
remembering the
wrong.
last half hour. Like
You remember
that's
the
all
last
that's
half
happening.
hour? I get people who are trying to be like, but it has an original idea, and I want to value things that have original ideas. Some original ideas are great, and some are just fine.
Yeah.
And I think overall, it's like Predator as a thing that someone made, like as a movie studio practical effects magic thing, is great. But I think the idea of Predator is kind of just fine. Like it's an alien that goes to different planets to prove it's the best hunter. Okay, you know, it is. That's fine. It's a cool idea. I'm not going to give them so much credit as to be like, that's the most brilliant fucking idea in the world. And therefore, by having the most brilliant idea, it's better than another movie, which is clearly superior. Clearly superior on all different levels. So, Predator franchise, I'd even say overall, it's like there are five of the 9 movies are pretty damn good. And then the 4 of them are like the lowest of the lows that you can ask for. Just for, or at
Just
least 3 of them
unwatchable.
are, and one of them is like middling as hell. It's depending on how you feel about Alien versus Predator. But it feels like that sometimes within movies, and that feels correct for the franchise as a whole. To be like, the highs are so good, and then the lows are the worst things you've ever seen. Um, oh boy. Well,
Wow, we
this is
talked
our
for
longest.
2 hours about the Predator.
This is
Oh
our
man, we had a
longest
lot
podcast.
to
We
say.
did. All right. Last moment of this before we get off of this. Bull's Corner, baby. I'm surprised you didn't talk about this at all. I'm making you do this with 0 preparation. Bull's Corner. Last time we checked in with the Bulls, we were at the top of the East. We were the tops. I don't know what we are now. 9th?
We're not at the
10th?
top anymore.
We're not on the top.
No, we're not.
We're not
We're
on
not
the top.
10. We didn't fall that far. We're 7th.
No, we
We're where
didn't.
we
We
should
actually
be.
had a
We're
good
where we
win
should
last
be.
night. We're number 8.
It was not a good win. Portland had no one.
Never mind. It was just a cool ending to a game.
Yes, that's
that I
it.
saw online.
We should have destroyed Portland, and we barely snaked by.
And we barely snaked by. Here's a moment in my life that I just want to share with you about being a Bulls fan. When we beat the 76ers, and we were like firmly in first place, this is now a week or 2 ago. When that happened, I was watching that game, and I watched the interview on the court with Josh Giddey afterwards, and the person interviewing him, so I think our record at that point was like 6-2, maybe something like that.
6-2, something like that. Yeah.
6-2 or
right.
7-2. Yeah, but like the person interviewing him was like, "You're now 5-0 at home," and I was like, "Wait a minute! All of those wins -1 were home games? I didn't know this. I didn't know this at all. That is a bad sign for how good I'm feeling about these Bulls." And lo and behold, I looked it up, and we had a bit of a road trip coming up. And yep, we're just good enough to be a very good home team. That's essentially the takeaway, actually, for the Bulls season. It is not that we are a great team. It's just we're spunky enough and we play with enough energy that home games, we might come at you.
I mean, we did beat Denver playing Jokic, and he had a triple-double. right? Like we're not
Denver. That's the
in
one.
Denver.
That's the to me that now stands out as like the statement win in this.
Yes,
because the first part of the season is now kind of like just okay, that was a long homestand where we did pretty damn well.
like
But the Denver one is damn good.
like I think we could make the playoffs, which is not where I was at the beginning of the season, right? Like I was like, great, we're gonna be 10th in the play-in again and lose again. Awesome. But like we're gonna be pretty good this year. Like if you told me,
I'm more excited. I'm more excited for the Bulls this year than I was at the beginning of the year. However, I'm going to make a prediction right now. I think we go 42-40. I think it's basically almost the same as like what the last 5 years are. I think that's our record at the end of the year. I think we go 42-40.
Stay, if we stay healthy, if we can stay healthy, I think we can be a little bit better. I think I could see like if we won 45 games, I wouldn't be shocked. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
sure.
I'm not saying I'm predicting it. I think we're going to be above 500, which is better than I expected by a lot.
Okay. But I'm making you for the pod. I'm making you predict it. What are your? Tell me right now. We can change it later. But I'm staking my claim at 42-40 will be the Bulls' record at the end of the year.
But if you're okay, here's what I'm saying. If you're going to give me the over under on 42 wins, I'm taking the over. I am.
You're taking the over?
I believe.
That's a little better. It's a little better.
So
you're
let's,
not quite getting to I'm predicting an exact record that I want you to, but it's better that you're doing the over under.
All right, then fine. 44 and 38. 44 and 38 is. But if we want to do a handshake, a little side bet on the season of Bulls over under 42 and a half wins, I'm in. Sure. And I will take the over.
Okay, I'll take the under. Wait, if they get exactly 42, do I still win?
If I take the under? You win. They have to get over. They have to get over. They have to get 43 or more.
I'm taking the under on 42. I'm taking the under, and I'm still gonna. I'll be rooting for me to be wrong as a Bulls fan, but I also this is in my heart. I feel like this is what it is.
I'm excited to lose in the first round of the playoffs rather than to lose in the play-in. That's where I'm feeling as a Bulls fan.
Yeah, life's good. Life's good. All right, we've been here too long. Thank you so much, fan. We love you.
Hi, Alec's sister.
Hi.
Maybe my mom. I honestly can't even remember which sister sent us the very nice note. Was it?
It was my sister. My sister Rowan.
It was Rowan. Hi, Rowan.
Yeah. All right. Love to everybody. Have a great rest of the day. We'll see you next time when we discuss the whole Alien franchise. No, we're not going to do that. I don't know.
That actually sounds fun. I'm not going to lie.
We might do that. We may or may not be talking about the Alien franchise.
It's been a long time since I've seen Alien 3. And I think it's time I revisit it.
Me too. That's the one. I saw that again on Hulu the other day. I was like, man, it's been a long time since I've seen Alien 3. I feel like the other ones I remember, but Alien 3 is just like, it's gone. Yeah. It's gone. I got nothing. All right. Talk to you later, everybody.
All right. See ya.